Alright, hello and welcome to this new series, Limited Options, which is going to be my attempt to get better at Limited. I want to expand my knowledge of playing these sets, and with the current speed and release of Magic sets, I don't feel that I have enough time to even absorb them casually, so drafting seems to be a good way to go through them, see other cards, try stuff out. So you see here, I'm starting off with this draft, and I ultimately go for Margaret on the case and Negro. I go for a blue-white deck, I decide. I know blue-white modified is the current meta. Sorry, not the meta. But this is the settings that I decide for. I decide to go blue-white, and I go off the bat with Margot and Remarkable Readings. So, for those who don't know, Margot on the case is a double striking 1/1, which is can't be blocked, and Remarkable Readings pumps based on the number of creatures you have. So that's what I'm ultimately aiming for. A blue-white deck built around synergies like that. I'm playing this in I'm not sure which limited environment it is. It is you play free matches regardless, and you get prizes based on what you get. I had some draft tokens from my original purchase, so ultimately I go with that. So I've been trying out the pick 2 draft, and I ultimately just, like I said, I'm struggling to, well, I'm not struggling, sorry, I should say. One of my biggest problems I found with this draft is I definitely have issues picking when and what to go for. For example, I look at some of these and think, I'm pulling stuff out that I don't think I'm going to play here. And I end up, so the pick 2 draft I think works pretty well in this set because there's only 5 options, and you get to do pretty well looking at it. This does feel like a core set. My limited knowledge of Limited dates back to Magic Origins, where I first started playing, where I played a lot of pre-releases, and I played some drafts because I was learning the game. I played a lot of basic red decks in that day, monocolored. But this does feel like a core set. A lot of the removal is sorcery speed. There's not too many complicated instant speed mechanics you have to worry about. For example, the main ones in Web, Mayhem and stuff, they are restricted to their timing restrictions. So for example, even if you Mayhem a sorcery, you still only cast it as a sorcery. So as you see here, I am just staying on color. And ultimately, I'm deciding that I'm going to blue-white. Gallant Citizen I like because what we want to do with this deck, I'm thinking, is I want a lot of pump spells and little creatures to just get value in that way. So what I've liked so far is that we are not struggling to find options. And now I'm thinking I want to grab blue-white effects like removal and evasion. Passing red, which is interesting. So this is where I struggle right now. I think Lively Leap is the better pick here, but there was some other options. Principal Referee here is pretty good. I actually like Basil the Cabarati Loudmouth. He was pretty decent in these drafts. As you see, we get to the end here and there's not a lot more in our colors, so I'm just taking stuff that could be playable. I don't think it's a good look that a lot of our colors were open, but so that's the deck we drafted, and I ultimately shave it down. So immediately I take out the red. We don't need that. I have 4 Principal Referees and 3 Margot. Principal Referee, I like that it's pump counters or get back little creatures. So I want to keep a lot of my 2-drops for that particular reason. I put the Lively Leap back in. I'm trying to make more of a curve. For example, I know that, you want... I'm thinking this feels to me more like a tempo deck. Since I didn't draw a lot of removal, I was thinking I'm going to fill this deck with tap effects and pump effects, and I'm going to look to gain advantage over time by doing... attacking creatures and doing stuff like that. Ultimately, I'm struggling to decide what my final cut is, and honestly, I go down one of those, and ultimately, I take out the Outsmart because I do feel that it's definitely too slow. And this is our first match here. And once again, I have to say this, Arena. Please remove the... So this hand has some interaction, some removal. We only have 2 lands. But I'm thinking it's pretty decent. We're going to just see how it goes here. Yeah, Arena, if it's not a ranked match, which this isn't, please don't put our ranks in. It really... I know it shouldn't tell me as much as it is. But this match did give me great hope because... with great hope, it comes, yeah. Because the opponent was playing basically our deck. They were playing blue-white modified. And the fact that somebody ranked way higher than me was doing this... I mean, they got a few of the cards that I should have probably picked, like that Cloud there. Ultimately, I'm going to choose to untap my own creature here, keep that going. I'm going to play the Gallant Citizen here, draw a card, get another blue. A little awkward here. We don't draw any of our blue cards, and we drew 2 of our islands, but, you know, that's fair for now. We are losing this race pretty quickly. Okay, so Mothwing Shroud here. I'm going to try and get rid of this Phantasmal Visions. But they do have Spectacular Tactics, which is a good protection spell. We have one of them in our deck. In response to this attack, I'm going to Lively Leap the Basil and block the ward creature. Buys us some time. There's a Zan. So they're more of a Bant counters deck, it appears. Okay, so they are tapped out here. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to pass it back. We have enough here for the blood, so they just attack. So before the trigger resolves, I am going to destroy it with this removal spell. Opponent puts their counter back on their Tunnel Web Explorer. So now we have a ton of mana. I'm going to use Diligent Web Weavers to put counters on our creatures. And I'm thinking we might have to push for damage here. I'm not putting out the Basil because it's a legendary creature. In fact, 90% of the creatures in this set I discovered were legendary, so we just gotta wait and see what our opponent does here. They play an eccentric arachnologist. I wonder if that's actually a word. Chris is taking a while thinking about it. I would be prepared for a trade here. The Lively Leap does make this interesting. I'm tempted to swing in and maybe offer trades. But there's Margot on the case. So that gives us a great clock. So I'm going to attack in with everything here, see how they want to trade. And then I'll make my decisions. So this gives me the option of either a blowout with a Lively Leap here. Or I could... save it. So I'm going to Lively Leap here to kill their biggest creature. They put 1 back. We're clawing it back. We're on 14 now to their 11. So our 11 to their 14. Principal Referee here can bring back the Gallant Citizen, which is another card draw and 2 more bodies to keep us alive. They Archangel's Shroud is going to give them a reaching tap down creature attack. Very nice. Play a land, and we'll use the Principal Referee here and put 2 counters on creatures. I don't think buying back the card draw here is too good, because we can now, what we can do is lock this up. So we wait and see what they do for their turn. If they attack, they put us down, but I'm not going to let them give that chance. I'm going to play Basil and do a double. Untap and tap just in case they have protection, and yeah, we got that one. That one looked like it was getting away from us, but pretty good. Yeah. Chosen by Valgaroth is a cool card, but I don't think there's much of a change we can do here. I like where our deck sits. You saw there the power of Marker on the case. If we literally give her a counter, it's 4 damage unblockable a turn. If we can do more than that, we can do so much more, but we didn't get a lot, so we'll see what happens. This is a good curve. So this is Wonderweave Anarchist into removal into Principal Referee, and Principal Referee can put the counters on himself. He can only put 1 on up to 2 creatures, so it's not guaranteed, but it's pretty good. So yeah, let's go a Wonderweave Anarchist, an Aerialist. Then let's attack in. pass it back. We can flash in Basil here and use him as a tap down untap if we need to. But we could also, if they don't have anything, just untap our own creatures, pass back. Double Lively Leap here is really good, but what I want to do is I want to use this Principled Referee to put counters on our creatures to put the clock higher. Now with the Lively Leap, we might have enough to take him out. Particularly if we can draw another white, we would then be able to Mothwing Shroud, double Lively Leap, which I think 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is exactly lethal and enough to win it for there. So we feel pretty good. I think our opponent was missing like maybe a double green here. We sadly do not draw the double Lively Leap, so I'm just going to play it safe here. We'll use a Mothwing Shroud to take this out and get big damage in. So now they have to deploy at least 3 different creatures, and based on how they've played, I don't think they can. So there's no reason to go crazy. There's a Mothwing Shroud. We're happy to let that go. They take the Aerialist. They pay the Ward 2. Right, so we pass back. Oh, and our computer wanted to restart. Yep, fortunately we just got lucky and had that one. So this is our second match in our draft. We are 1-0, which I was not expecting. This hand is a bit slower, but does have our fun guy, so we can try that back. There's a Crime Scene Instructor. We'll pass it back and see what our opponent does. Free Stride Aerialist, which is going to give First Strike, which blows up my plan for a surprise block. But what we can do is we can tap this down to save time and tempo. And then we can just pass it back. Wait and see what our opponent does. They appear to be on Mardu. They go for a shock here. I am going to use this to counter the spell and tap their creatures, which is great because now they have to use a second shock to kill our creature, and we still get to tap their stuff. So we did great. Alright, we'll play Davriel, who protects the web. They have a -3/-3, so they are now out of creatures. They discard a card. They are still above us though in tempo. Right, so looking at our graveyard, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the Principled Referee, and I'm going to return the Basil, the Loudmouth, to our hand. They're going to give Vigilance and +1 here. I will block. You probably have more removal. There's the third shock. They drafted a lot of shocks, this guy. So we're just going to pass. They know we have a flash creature here. This is where I should have read Remarkable Readings. I was not aware that it gave free creatures. So they go for a plus here. In response to them going for the target here, I am going to Spectacular Tactics destroy it. They give the cover ready counters and attack in. Right, in response to that, now knowing that this is free creatures, I'm like, yeah, I'll actually cast this. So we make free counters and pass it back. They go to plus their big token. They go and give it to themselves. So in response, we will tap their creature. We'll tap the 5/5 here. We can hit this for free. Right. Using the pump effect now, we'll turn one of our tokens into a 5/5 and swing in. Do they want to trade? They don't, so they're on 15. They play another Crime Scene Instructor. They pump another token for 6. They give Vigilance to that guy. So in response, we'll block the big one and block with Basil, and then we'll use Lively Leap here to take out the Vigilant creator. Flash in this obscuring alleyway. Plump the alleyway. Attack in and get a Connive trigger. We'll discard the land, unfortunately. Would have been nice to pump it, but it saves us some time here. Opponent pumps up to 4, so they have now a 5/5 and a 2/2 coming in. We'll do the block again. We'll take the 2 here. I think the Lively Pump would be better. Use the Gallant Citizen here to draw a card. Oh, Margot on the case with this pump land here will be great, so let's connive. I'm going to get rid of this because now if they want to block it like that, yep, they have to sack 2 creatures, which is way more important right now with the pump that they have. Opponent pumps the Crime Scene Instructor to a 4/4. We'll block here. Margot? Is it Margot? I want to say Margaret, but it's Margot. Oh, they in web and get a creature back. So let's pump and make it unblockable. 8/8. Yeah, pass it back. So now, unless they have to literally kill everything we have here. Yeah, we can just block the 5/5, take 5, and they concede. Yep. That was the dream there to have that. So we are now one match up, 1 game up, which is crazy. So maybe this deck is okay. Obviously, in the hands of a more skilled pilot and a more skilled drafter, they probably would have got way better. Maybe splashed a 3rd color, but definitely felt good. Right, all white. No. Okay, we got to keep this. It's a bit rough, but I think we get rid of the principal referee because it's 2 mana away here. Play a land and pass back. They make a Crime Scene Investigator. On our turn, we will play the Gallant Citizen. Draws us a card. We're not finding our 3rd land. This is scary. Gloria. So they are a Mardu. Alright, there's another white. We'll play the Moth Wing Shroud. Get rid of the spider that's giving counters. There's a Costume Closet giving counters. Right, okay. We will pass it back here. Let them attack in. We'll go for a Sudden Strike here to see if we can destroy it. We can. Right. They play Romantic Rendezvous and Mayhem in a Sadistic String Puller. That's now a 5/4 for 2. Pretty good, pretty good. We're not drawing blue mana, which is very scary here. They have the shock here. I'm going to save this because I need the blocker on their turn. And we're on the back foot here, so definitely worth blocking. Alright, flash in Basil. Tap down the Sadistic Spider. There's a Wretched Speedway Saboteur, so they're going to take 2 cards off us here. I pretty much concede that we got here. I feel that might have been a bit of an early concession, but definitely with a big body and a menace, and stealing 2 cards of us, they've definitely out-tempoed us. Probably should have fought on if I'm honest, but wanted to see what we could do here. But this hand is okay, so let's pass back with a tap land. Go into the Gallant Citizen, drawing us a card, giving us some options. Right, phone's decided to go here. I'm going to have to call that back in a bit. Right. Oh, I'm going to have to get that, and we're going to have to pause this. Alright, so this is probably falling out of sync now because I had to answer the phone because, I don't know, some loser was calling me. Okay, right. So ultimately, though, we do pull ahead on this one. Miraculously. I think we just got lucky. Again, we got a really good matchup. We did not get blue till very late in the game, but that wasn't terribly bad. But, you know, we'll cut this here and we'll go to our final match here. And then we'll talk about it. Alright, there's not a lot to say about this match. This opponent, as you can see, is 595 Mythic. So, the Mythic ranked drafter who drafted a insanely good Grixis Mayhem deck. that literally just ruffle stomped us. There's not much to say here. It was really cool to see what this deck can do if they actually get the stuff. We did get a bit mana screwed in game 1, but not continuously. But yeah, this was a really fun game. Ultimately though, we ended up going 2-1, and as you'll see towards the end of the video, we did basically just get wrecked. Ultimately we just didn't find land, and I kind of decided to go out on my own terms, when you'll see it doing a little funny thing towards the end. But that was our first experience of Limited. How did I feel about playing this? Well, it was hard to say. The free matches felt good. I do feel that I was pretty luckily matched up. I kind of ended up facing 2 decks that were similar to my deck, and then this very optimal deck. Well, I say optimal, it might not be optimal. I'm new to the format. This could be an insanely average deck that just ran really well. But yeah, this was really fun. I'm definitely going to play more Limited here. It's not going to be every week, because I'm a free-to-play player and I cannot afford to draft every week. I've got some draft tokens left over that I'm going to use here, have some fun with, and yeah, this was our Limited Options episode 1.